Another exciting weekend of SEC basketball is officially in the books, guys. And these are my takeaways from everything we saw on the hardwood over the weekend, guys. We start in Starkville. Starkville is a place where teams' dreams go to die, right? We already saw the Bulldogs, a team that isn't great this year, right? Sort of just trying to trudge their way through the SEC grind. Mississippi State just does it again, right? And when you've got a home court environment like they have in Starkville, and you've got a guy like a Tolu Smith, all bets are off, right? We saw it earlier in the season when Tennessee came to town, and it was a Mississippi State team that at that point was struggling, and they were struggling mightily. And out of nowhere, they find a way to pull the upset. Here again, guys, here comes an Auburn team, just lost on the road to Alabama in a tough rivalry game. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, Auburn's going to bounce back the right way. Auburn, this was a team that before Wednesday night or so it felt like they couldn't be touched. They couldn't lose. Now losers of back-to-back ball games, 64-58, the final. I think we have to look at it now, guys. And I know that already home court advantage is so important in the SEC. We see upsets happen all the time where the underdog at home is able to pull it off. But, dude, Starkville is becoming one of the most difficult places in the SEC to go into and get a win. I mean, guys, they've beaten two of the top three teams, I would argue, in this conference on their home floor, right? And you look at this, what's crazy, guys, too, Tolu Smith only had 9 points in this game. It was Hubbard who led the way with 17. That's what's so scary. I don't know that Mississippi State even played their best basketball. They were relentless defensively, though, held Auburn to 34% shooting, 25% from three-point land. But Starkville, guys, it has become a place where teams' dreams truly go to die. You have to keep your fingers crossed, and hopefully you don't have something on the line to play for when you go to Starkville, because my goodness, it has been proven a difficult task, nearly impossible to come out of there victorious. Guys, we moved to Arkansas and Kentucky, which so funny this game got College Game Day because Arkansas is a complete train wreck, and that's where I want to go with this, guys. Are there signs? Listen, we know the Hogs aren't good. This is not their year. Something's going on. But are there signs of even bigger issues in Fayetteville? Guys, hours before tip, we got news that not just any player, but a starter for Arkansas had just left the team. And the release was as vague as, this guy has left the team. That's it. He will not play today. He will not dress. He has left the team. Eric Musselman asked about it in postgame. Gets real short, real snappy with the media. And I understand it's annoying, the same question being asked over and over. 63-57 the loss, though. I thought Arkansas showed some fight. But, guys, and I'm certainly not stoking the fire to, well, Eric Musselman needs to go. He's done so much great work in Fayetteville. I think that would be foolish. But it's hard to believe there aren't bigger issues for Arkansas basketball. And maybe it's a situation where you look at it, guys, and you say, you know what? This was a team heavily built from the portal. Those pieces just did not mesh. Those pieces did not come together. And the scary thing about that, when you're a team heavily built from the portal, the scary thing is if things start going sideways, there's no brotherhood, there's no buy-in. Guys are going to go their own direction, right? But I wonder, is there more to it? Is there more to it? Because as these losses pile up, I feel like we're starting to see more and more and more and more cracks in the foundation of Arkansas basketball under Eric Musselman. Guys, to Columbia, South Carolina. South Carolina, guys, rank them. The AP Top 25 has been released. South Carolina's still not ranked. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This South Carolina team, and I know Missouri's not good. That's also a hell of a storyline. Mizzou is 0-7 in conference play. That is just hard to believe. But South Carolina wins 72-64. They go 2-0 on the week. They beat Kentucky. And the Gamecocks now sit 17-3, 5-2 in conference play. Rank them. Rank them. How does it not make sense to rank South Carolina men's basketball at this point? Everything they've done, the resume they've compiled. Do you still look? I'm not saying they're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league, but guys, they've beaten Kentucky. They have that bad loss to Georgia. That's really the one that stands out, where you were a 6.5-point favorite at home. But outside of that, guys, they lost to Alabama. But a lot of teams are going to lose to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Outside of that, they've been really, really good. I just don't understand. And I think what this goes to show is when you are so lowly thought of in the preseason, right? When you are so lowly thought of, the amount of winning it takes to garner even 1% of respect or change anyone's mind, right? Versus, if you're a North Carolina, if you're even a Kentucky, if you're a team that, you're a blue blood, you just get the benefit of the doubt. You flat out get the benefit of the doubt. And if I'm a Gamecock fan today, if I'm a South Carolina fan, I'm pissed off. Now, I know a lot of South Carolina people like playing the underdog role, and that's fine, dandy, whatever. And South Carolina guys are going to have a great opportunity to prove themselves tomorrow night. You go to Thompson Bowling, you take on Tennessee, you win that one. There will be no debate or discussion about where South Carolina sits. But if you're someone that you just want to see the best teams respected, to not have South Carolina in the top 25, man, it's absurd. It's flat out absurd. It's flat out ridiculous. I don't understand what South Carolina has to do to garner that respect. I really don't. Guys, Alabama's heating up, right? You look at Bama almost kind of quietly. They're just taking care of their business, being really impressive in doing so. A 109-88 win over LSU. But, guys, the offensive side, right? You beat down Auburn. Now you're beating LSU. You're on this winning streak. I think Alabama, guys, do I think they're the best team in the SEC? No. I think they're as dangerous, though. Them and Mississippi State both. But they're as dangerous as any team in the conference, right? Alabama's just got shooters on shooters on shooters. Pause. I know that's a joke. I get that. But they do. They've got shooters all over the floor. Pause again. Either way, Alabama's an incredible team, guys. LSU ran into a buzzsaw going to Tuscaloosa, but I just look at Bama as like they're unranked right now. Like everybody's focused on Tennessee and Auburn and Kentucky, and I totally understand, but maybe it's Alabama that makes the deepest run of any of those teams. It could be when you look at the talent they have. Finally, guys, when you look at Tennessee, they get a big win over the weekend. They take down Vandy. Ho-hum, whatever. Vandy stinks. 75-62. But the bigger takeaway and the bigger storyline is this. Dalton Knecht, for my money, is the best player in college basketball. Flat out. On a night-in, night out basis, there's nobody better than this guy. Dalton Knecht, 32 points. Just casually dropping 32 on Vandy's head. No big deal. 13 of 21, 62% he shot from the field, 43% from three. This dude is unstoppable. And if there's one college basketball player right now you got to tune into and watch, it's Dalton Knecht, man. It's Dalton Knecht. Really, truly, it is a treat. If you have not watched this dude, tune in tomorrow night when they take on the Gamecocks. Sit back, relax, watch him go to work. It is so – he's guaranteed for 30. He has 25 points, and you feel like it's an off game. So, Knecht Mania has taken not just Knoxville, but SEC basketball by storm. The best of the rest in the league, guys, over the weekend. Ole Miss, they got a nice win in College Station against Texas A&M, 71-68. Based off the comments, I know folks still aren't sold on Ole Miss, and I totally get it, right? I totally respect it. It is what it is, but a really nice win for the Ole Miss Rebels, and the struggles for Buzz Williams' squad. They just continue, really surprising there. And then finally, guys, the top game of the day, or the first game, I should say, not the top game, but the first game Florida hanging on for dear life in a rivalry game against the Georgia Bulldogs, 102-98 the final in overtime. But this was a game that the Gators were up by like 20, let Georgia come all the way back. Florida finds a way to hold on, but boy, that would have been a brutal loss had they allowed Georgia to come back, get the win on their home floor. But Florida finds a way to hold off the Dogs. Both those teams now sit with identical records at 14-6 and I believe 4-3 in SEC play. So that was a big win for the Gators, keeping their NCAA tournament hopes alive. Obviously, in Georgia, still some work to do. A lot of teams in the conference work to do. But it was funny, guys. In closing, I looked at this weekend on Friday and said, man, this is kind of a sleepy weekend in the SEC. I don't think we didn't have a single ranked on ranked game, some large spreads, if you will. And isn't it funny how it's those weekends where some of the most madness occurs and madness takes place? So the race for the SEC title, the race to build the resumes, to boost the resumes and get to the NCAA tournament only heats up as conference play continues.